it would help. Have I been muted that whole time? I say that whole time. It's been a couple minutes. For fuck's sake. this is why I don't fucking stream. Because I'm shit at it. Anyway. Yeah. What time is it? It's 3 minutes to 7. I'm excited for this. Mostly for the orc stuff, actually, at this point, because Space Marine stuff that they've showed off so far hasn't really grabbed me. Which is a shame, because I say mostly, like, one of my main armies is Space Marines. I play Space Wolves. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that the army that is being, the main army, one of the main armies for 40k is Space Marines. They have refreshed. I'm rambling already. I think the problem they have is they've done everything new and interesting they can do with the Primaris stuff. So beyond making new things, that would be very difficult for them. I'm going to turn this down in my own head. And actually, I am going to mute for a second while I have a listen to the stream so far. Okay, so I think I could go up a little bit more. Bring that down. There we go. And then I think it's this one. I think it is that one. And then for my laptop's sake. What I'm going to do is set that to performance mode, so if anything happens, I can't see it. So, I am now going to switch over here. It is 7 o'clock right now. I'm not looking at chat because that is a cesspool. Yeah. A little bit more talking. Oh, what have we got?
Armageddon, the war world. Its soil is worthless, salted by the blood and sweat of generations. War is all that remains. It rises from the dust and echoes in the sky, a promise, a cacophony of endings.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I just realised this is the Trail of the Shadow they showed off at Adepticon.
Sanguinius' sons, angels of death. We belong here. Our veins burn with his wrath. Our twin hearts Hello everybody, we are live. Welcome to this very special Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon unboxing. My name is Adam, I'm joined by my friend and colleague Eddie.
Absolute pleasure to be here. We have an amazing box set to unbox with you today. The Armageddon box, the launch set for the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. It's got some orcs in, some space marines in, some pretty cool stuff on the back of the box.
looks cool,
I think that's a given.
Loads of good stuff.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for joining us. I've been keeping an eye on this chat as we've been waiting to begin. It is lovely to have you all here. There's people flocking in from around the world. Let me tell you how it's going to work. For the next 45 minutes to an hour maybe, Eddie and I are going to open this box, take everything out, show you in detail all of the cool Warhammer goodness that's inside of it, and just have a good time sort of getting excited about the launch box for the 11th edition of Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, we know a few things that are in this box already, of course. We've seen some of them previewed on the Warhammer community website. We had, Fire Grots to come in. There's a chaplain we know about, a weird boy, some incestors, some orc boys, loads of good stuff we know is coming.
Perfect. While we wait for the chat to fill up, and there are thousands of you firing in on YouTube and Twitch, it's nice for everybody at home to tell us where you are. Warhammer community is a global community, and it's really exciting to see where you're tuning in from. Give your location a shout out while I get the locations pouring into the chat. Eddie, done any Warhammer hobby lately?
I have. I've been painting some Warhammer 40,000 things. Some bits more some space marines. I can't see them just yet. We might have a look at the end of this show.
Very good. And while you're at Dexcon, you played in the event, right?
I did. I got to play in the championship for Warhammer 40,000 and the team event. I took some space wolves, some dreadnoughts. They did all right.
Fantastic.
How about yourself, Adam? You painting anything?
Right.
Yes, perhaps not as much painting as you, but I've been painting away on something in this set. And also,
I'm going to mute that for now because they're just waffling. It's not really of any importance. I'm also going to turn it down a little bit on my end because it's distracting hearing people talk while I'm also trying to talk. I will say so far, not impressed with the box. Like, am I going to buy it? Yeah, almost definitely. But I'm like, I think there's some stuff that's just not done much for me. Like, new intercessors, sure, fine. The new Vanguard veterans, fine. Jump Chaplain looks kind of cool. Oh, they are opening things.
so, there we go. One box now ready.
It's a hefty
to
box,
open.
isn't it?
It is. Shall we crack it open?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh,
look
you
at
got
Ooh, that's some potato cam.
lid comes off.
I'll take that lid. Thank you very much.
So here we are. It is absolutely just loaded with frames of Citadel miniatures and bases. There's always somebody in chat that says, what size is the base? The answer is, there's loads of them, and there's more bases somewhere further down.
Okay.
Don't worry too much about that. Let's pull out all the frames, have a quick look at these, and then we'll go through and show you everything in detail.
We will show you the painted models as well.
Of course we will.
It's not
But,
just in plastic.
but if you're like me, you like to open a box and see all the cool things that are in it. So, where do we begin? I'll pass you the orcs.
I take the orcs. I'm happily take the orc stuff. Yeah. So this appears to be a kit of orc characters, as far as I can tell there. So you've got a big banner in there. There's a big chopper someone gets. Looks like possibly some kind of orc medical specialist. Okay.
Perfect.
Pain Boy. We've not seen the Pain Boy yet. That's not been revealed, so
Big cloak.
that's interesting.
And then an enormous orc, which is clearly some kind of war bar.
We'll put that in the middle if there's a bit of both. That's nice big chopper there.
So I'll stick this on my side.
What?
Next up.
Ooh. Oh, I see a vehicle.
This armoured Space Marines, and then you've got some character models, a large standard for an ancient.
Yeah.
So I'll put this one on my side. Your turn,
There's some
Eddie.
head options in there as well. I'm going to go with whatever this looks like. This appears to be some kind of orc vehicle. Definitely on the kind of speed freaky end of the spectrum. We've got some tracks there, some tyres. I see a chopper. I see some rockets. There we go.
A truck,
Could be
maybe?
an orc vehicle of some sort there. Don't think we've seen that in the trailer.
No, that is an unrevealed thing.
No.
We saw this guy on Warhammer Community. This is clearly the Weird Boy, and he comes in lots of parts. There it's the Weird Boy frame. Just want to have a quick peek at the Weird Boy frame.
Ooh.
Crazy halo of wire.
That's a nice Weird Boy. I really like, so far from what they've shown off, that's my favourite mini.
So, this is
It's just so characterful.
this frame here,
people speculating if we were going to get a land speeder in this box. We can confirm you do in fact get a land speeder.
Not so much speculated as it was leaked, but I guess they can't say that, can they?
Mark 10 panorama. These are intercessors. There we go. We'll show you all of these in lots more detail, but we're trying to give you the full experience of what it's like to open this for yourself. Drawer. Here we've already seen some of the Vanguard veterans,
We
right?
have, yeah, we've seen one of the Vanguard veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously they also appeared in the cinematic trailer, chopping up some kind of orc walker.
Nice bit of capage by the looks of things.
Nice. Really good orc stuff.
I was going to say, these
I do love a good
are
cape.
identical, and you can have them both at the same time.
Oh, excellent. So this is a big frame of orc boys and correction. Lots of chopping.
Ooh.
Lots of head options as well. The heads are separate, so a little bit of customization options in there as well.
That is a lot of green lads.
Perfect. And the final frame come out the box, and a surprise to absolutely nobody is, of course, that enormous gun rig that we saw in the video.
I can't wait to see what that looks like
Cannon there.
assembled.
Some kind of orc walker, and we'll find out more about that.
Perfect. And for the base enthusiasts out there, you know who you are. There are 3 more bases. 2 of them belong to the Orcs, and this one belongs to the Space Marines. So, if you look down inside, there is now a box within a box. This is where all of the sort of paper components of Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon live. I will crack it open. It's snugly put in there, and it's got some seals on it.
Before we get to that, should we do?
Yeah, you do that while I do
There's
this.
another thing here. We've got a sheet of transfers. This is a joint sheet between the Space Marines and the Orcs. What you've got in here is a quite nice selection of stuff. You've got a bunch of Space Marine chapters and a bunch of Orc clans. The Space Marine chapters are all ones that are taking part in the attack on Armageddon, basically.
Yeah, so the Warhammer Studio have done a really good job here of connecting this launch box to the events that they're depicting on Armageddon. So you have the Ultramarines, the Blood Angels, the Salamanders, the Crimson Fists, and the White Scars, all forces which are sort of prevalent in this operation to reclaim Armageddon.
All the ones that are kind of taking the forefront in Operation Imperator, which is the attack to reclaim Armageddon from the Orcs. You've also got some Orc clans in there as well. There's Goths, some Evil Sons, some Bad Moons.
And Death Guards as well.
And Death Guards, yeah. And then some generic ones as well, so you can use the company markings and things. You can get anything.
I always get really excited about the detail in the text, so that's fantastic. Right, so I've busted the seals on this. Let's turn it now.
I'm intrigued to see what we get in the box.
Paper that you get inside the
Yeah,
Armageddon
all the
box
rules
set?
components, basically.
Exactly. So I guess we start with the biggest thing.
Let's go with the big book. Yeah.
Perfect. So this is Operation Imperator. This is a enormous hardback lore book. This is
Ooh.
of the story of. I feel like there might be spoilers here.
Ooh.
The story of the Space Marine mission to reclaim Armageddon.
I'm going to enjoy pouring through that. I love that.
Packed with stories and art, the narrative that explains the events. There's a gatefold which shows an enormous map.
Get a map of
Love a big map.
So this is like a proper old school campaign book. It's got more.
It really is, though.
Armageddon.
Anywhere,
Yeah,
any one
more
place
detail
ever.
than we've ever had before. We've had a few kind of supplements and campaigns in the past that have gone to Armageddon, but this dives into it in even more detail. And
That's
particularly
cool.
focusing on the forces
Big fan of that.
and the Space Marines. One of the things I really like about it is that in each of the war zones that it features, there is a list of the different Space Marine chapters and the different Orc clans that are taking part in the battle. You can see here, you've got Space Marine chapters like the Marines Malevolent, the Angels Eradicant, the Storm Lords present, the Subjugators. So there is a whole bunch of different Space Marine chapters that are taking part in this, as well as the Blood Angels, obviously, who are leading the charge.
It gives it a real feel of a sort of historical recounting of events, which is really quite exciting. And if you look for hooks to connect your army to or the games you're playing, this feels like perfect material for recollection.
It's absolutely that. And it is a nice big hardback book. There's loads of stuff in there. 120 pages long. It's pure lore as well. This is absolutely just loads of background for Warhammer 40,000.
I need more books like that.
Is exclusive to this box. A lot of the other components we're going to go through today.
That's unfortunate.
Separate releases, individually or in other boxes. You're able to pick them up outside of the Armageddon box. This book, Operation Imperator, is exclusive to this box. So if you want to get your hands on this lovely hardback campaign book, go to Armageddon.
Makes sense. Right. So next up, delving in, perhaps the most pedestrian item, but still extremely useful. This is the assembly guide, and it will come
Need
with
that.
a slide. This is how you assemble your models, and it is just full colour, detailed pictures of how to put them together.
Though I know someone who got, I can't remember whether it was the Leviathan or Indomitus, but they didn't get a instruction booklet. It was very funny chatting to them.
Lists
Just
obviously the various different options you've got in
Oh,
there.
that's a
think-
good point. There are quite a lot of options. in
Yeah,
some
so
of these.
quite a lot of the Space Marines we've shown,
Hmm.
if there is a squad leader or something that's got an unhelmeted option, there's usually a helmeted option too. Same for the characters.
Big fan of that.
Also push fit as well. You obviously can glue them,
Yeah.
but they do go together.
please glue them.
As a person who's not the best model builder, actually, I find the push fit nature of this scheme really good sometimes, so I'm enjoying it. Next up, and this will be of enormous excitement.
Push fit's a nightmare in my experience.
The cutting edge of playing Warhammer 40,000 is the core rules. This one has never been opened.
What?
This is the core rules for Warhammer 40,000. It's everything you need to play a game of Warhammer 40,000 along with your codex.
It's
It's
softback.
a nice compact version of the rules, so one ideal for taking to a battle with you.
Yeah.
This is basically the engine that drives the new edition, right? This is the new core rules that interact with your existing codex and all the different detachments and things that will be coming, and all the missions. This is how you move, how you shoot, how you fight. This is the thing that creates the games of Warhammer 40,000. So
It's a
you
nice
get the
convenient
rules.
size as well.
Yeah,
Stick that inside the bigger case or whatever, and you are good to go. Worth saying also at this point, the Warhammer 40,000 app will be being updated in line with the new edition at the time of the launch, so you'll be able to use that to full effect, which is very exciting.
I honestly, I genuinely didn't expect that.
Next is this pack here. On one side, orcs, on the other side,
I genuinely, I was not expecting it to be a soft cover book.
Perfect. This is all of the data cards for the units that are within the box. Do you want to split them down?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll get more fun. So obviously, if you already have a Space Marine or an Orc Codex, you've got rules for lots of your units already. This will give you all of the rules for the contents of this box, so you can add them into your existing army. They're very portable, nice size, but big enough to read, so it's very useful.
They're just my jam because, you know, you can keep them on the side of the table all the time.
The rules for these will also be in the Warhammer 40,000 app, but if you like to lay your army's rules out in front of you in a little line across the table so that easy to see and reference, very useful for that.
Right, so let's put that out of the way. So then there are two more boxes of cards, and these are massive. Which one do you want to do
Oh,
first?
let's do chapter 3 first.
Where are they?
Break it.
There we go. So, chapter approved cards. Tell us about chapter approved cards. Eddie.
So, chapter approved will be a familiar concept for those of you who already play lots of games of Warhammer 40,000.
Those look like objective
The
tokens.
mechanism for creating missions in this edition of Warhammer 40,000, much as it has been for previous editions. The difference with this chapter approved deck is that this is the tool you use to create any mission for any game of Warhammer 40,000, not just for match play. This is for all types of games. So if you want to play a very narrative game, or if you want to play a very competitive game, a tournament or something like that, this is still the same deck that you use. Narrative has been weaved all the way through. We've talked a little bit about that already on the Warhammer community site in terms of how this creates very narrative.
I need to know more.
How armies play into
I do not trust them on their word that it's going to be more narrative.
Comes complete with a little chapter approved booklet.
I want it to be.
How
But-
to use it, so everything there you need to start using it to sort of power your game.
and you'll be using that a lot. So obviously what you've got here, as well as all those models, is all the rules stuff you need to start playing Warhammer 40,000.
Combine that with your codex, with your
Yeah,
data sheets, and
right out of
you're
the
away. Yeah, absolutely.
So this is a box definitely designed for people who just want to start playing straight away in the new edition.
And then finally, Dominarchus, another pack of cards. We have
What's this? Yeah.
card box, and Dominarchus is something just a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, so the chapter approved mission deck is what you use to create missions. This deck is what you use to create campaigns. So there's been a few different ways
Oh.
spelled out how you might want to do a campaign in the past. This is a deck-driven campaign system for Warhammer 40,000. It works alongside chapter approved, generating those missions, and it allows you to link your battles together in a narrative way. So this is great if you want to play a weekend of gaming,
Or link loads together with your gaming.
yeah,
club.
if you've got a gaming club and you get to play a game every week and you want them to kind of feel like they're part of the continuous system, this is a deck-driven campaign system, and it effectively takes away all the paperwork, all the logistics of having to run a campaign and puts it into a deck-based.
Big fan of that.
You can link your battle together very easily and feel like you have a very compelling
Big fan of that.
between the battles.
Absolutely. The Dominarchus deck also comes with its own booklet, which is essentially everything you need to know to use it to thread your campaign together. And when we say it's a simple system, we're talking about, 8 pages long, and between these and your chapter 2 cards, you are away
compact campaigns as well. They only need to be like 3 games long if you want them to be, or they can be great long things. And there's a huge amount of replayability in those decks.
So all of that is within the Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon box set. We've shown you all of the frames in a little bit of detail and talked you through the thing. Shall we have a good look at the models themselves?
Let's do it. I think we should start with my favourite half of the box.
So it's Orc time,
Orc
right?
time, yeah.
Perfect.
All stuff we've seen so far. Oh! Look at that man. Oh, that's fucking class. Like, say, what? Oh. Big Mech Daka rig. Fuck off. Fuck off, that's cool. Yes, big fan. Yep, June 2026, we knew that.
Contents
Well,
from
not
Warhammer 40,000
new.
Armageddon. A flurry of activity to deploy all here on the table in front of us. This
There are
is
no
all
other
the Orc models that you find
events
inside
happening
the
basically
Armageddon box,
after
and it is all
basically this
what
week.
we can, talk about. We'll go through each unit in turn and give you guys at home the lowdown on what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Should we start with the smallest of the Orcs?
Yeah, this is a properly great box of Orcs. Worth saying before we dive into the whole thing, effectively what you've got here is a combat patrol worth of Orcs, and then a bunch more stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely.
it works out something about 700 to 800 points worth of stuff. So it's a fairly sizable chunk of an army. If this is your first foray into Orcs, and I think a lot of people are getting quite excited about Orcs at the moment, and rightly so.
Yeah,
They're very
absolutely.
cool. I think a lot of this is a great start to an army. You've got some really solid units. If you are bolting the front of an existing Orc army, and I've got a fairly sizable Orc army at home, there are lots of very cool units in this that add new tools into the mix. So it's a great box.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody called Darkblade in the chat was saying that the Grots are waste of plastic. They're absolutely not. Grots are essential
Grots
to
are
every
essential.
Warboss's plan.
Yeah, so we're starting with
Let's
the
go.
lowest rung of Orc society here. This is the Gretchen unit. We've seen some of these already. There is a unit of 10 Gretchen in the box. Gretchen are a very useful unit in Warhammer 40,000 Orc armies. You can push them forward to take objectives without worrying about any of your...
Incredibly cheap to
They're
use
very,
as well,
very cheap in
absolutely.
terms of points. You can throw them away willy-nilly and not worry too much about it. In terms of
I wonder what they'll do with the
really
points.
lovely little throwbacks in this box to classic
Absolutely so, yeah.
Gretchen. Some of the miniatures are very reminiscent of some of the things we saw in second and third
So the
edition.
spiked helmets there really
Yeah,
come into it, don't
absolutely.
they?
And
Not a
also
fan of the
some
spiked
Gretchen,
helmets.
Are quite reminiscent of Gork
Personally.
era Grots.
It's almost like it's the greatest hits of sort of Grots through the ages.
It is, yeah, they look great.
I like it.
Yeah, I can see that. I think
I don't dwell on Grots for too long now.
I do somewhat agree with some sentiment on the internet that wishes the ears were a bit longer.
10 Orc boys in this set. You can see them here on the screen. They look fantastic. Essentially, it's 9 boys and then a boss knob to use them.
Yeah, so Orcs are the absolute mainstay backbone of an Orc army. This is a brand new unit. Every model is new. The thing that we know about the new Orc unit already is that Orcs now come with a slugger and a chopper and a shooter. So immediately into the new edition, they are going to be great in shooting, great in combat, a more flexible unit. They have a boss knob in each unit. The boss knobs have slightly different weapons. There's a combi rocket on one and a custom shooter on the other. It's worth saying, one of the big requests of all players is the combi rocket and the combi shooter now have different stat lines. The combi rocket is a real rocket rather than being a kind of walk room dealing thing, and the custom shooter just lets you load the shots.
The chat absolutely loves them.
Yeah, they are really cool. I mean, every single model is like a wonderful character model.
They
Some
look
of them have
class.
wings hanging off the belt. There's some stick bombs in the mix. They do have the explosives keyword, so grenades effectively.
Yeah.
But every single one is a character.
What I'd like to do is pull the knob out of the unit for a second and just show you them side by side. And we'll get a nice close-up because I just think these are really impressive looking models.
Yeah, the Orc knobs are very large models. I think they're almost as big as some of the war bosses.
Yeah,
we've
absolutely.
seen.
Yeah, they're chunky.
And the fact that you've got two such powerful looking options there.
Are they on bigger bases too?
These are the Orc boys, as I said before. There's 22 mobs, 10.
really good, right?
Orcs.
They fight really well. They're tough. The thing that really makes orcs work is when you start adding characters into the unit. It gives them lots of cool abilities. There's a bunch of stuff in this box that can do that. We can have a look at a few of those.
Yeah, absolutely. So next up, up here near the front, I'm moving to the front. Oh, there we go. Fantastic view here. This is the Orcs Big Boss, which is sort of a new thing inside the Orc Force composition, right?
Yeah, so at the moment,
Lieutenant
in your
equivalent.
armies, you have your war boss, but then underneath him, you haven't really got any other characters that fill in the sort of boss level role. And so the big boss is basically like a war boss in waiting. He's the next level down on the rung. He is the enforcer of the war boss's will across the rest of your army.
Cool idea.
And absolutely the brawler.
Kind of hoping that the War Boss might not make it through the battle.
Yeah, if the war boss gets on the wrong end of a power fist or something, he has to step up to take the war boss's place. He wouldn't be too sad about it. But in game terms, he is a really useful little piece because you put him in amongst either your boys or your knobs, something like that, and he makes the unit hit harder. He himself.
Big fan of that mini too.
In combat.
Really fun.
+1 to charge and also sustained hits. So you can imagine that on a big unit of boys, a big unit of knobs or something, charging into an enemy unit is going to make an absolute mess.
Somebody said, is he smaller than the Orc boys? And the answer is no, he's an absolute unit.
He is.
Let me stick an Orc boy alongside this guy and you'll get a sense for...
Yeah.
He stands a little bit taller than the knob leaders in each of those boys.
That's a big lad.
So, next up, if we've had the big boss, we should do the guy on your side, Eddie, which is the banner knob.
Yeah, another one of the leader units in the Orc Force. This is the banner knob. War banners, of course, have been part of Orc armies for kind of since
I love that.
Every war boss needs to have a war banner somewhere so the boys know what they're
Steam, go away.
This is a beautiful model. Let's talk about the model first of all.
That's what excites me, is the way that the design on the banner, in particular, lets you really customise it to your own Orc force, right? So, sculpted on details you can see there, but there's the spaces left that you can use the decals from the decal piece to theme it after your own.
I can see people freehanding the shit out of that, and it's gonna look class.
Yeah, so this one here that's been painted by the heavy metal team beautifully uses the decals, uses the goth decals, so this is probably part of Gazgul's wider war somewhere around Armageddon, but you also have a nice big flat space there to use other decals, so you can Bad Moon, or you can paint your own, and then you've also got some sculpted on them. In terms of the game, this is a very powerful piece. It has the support rule. What that basically means is that if you have a unit, you can have a leader unit in it, something like a war boss or a big boss.
Yep.
You can also have a support model, something like a banner knob, so you can have two characters in the unit.
Oh.
Access to loads of really cool combos. You can have one of each. The combo that this guy puts onto your unit is that it gives the unit a 5-up invulnerable save. So basically, they're so inspired by the presence of the...
Shrugging off bolt.
Yeah, so inspired by the presence of the war banner, they just shrug off even debilitating lethal hits. And then when the war is active, he also gives them +1 toughness. So that
Oh,
even
fuck.
You can be shrugging off even things like heavy bolter-fire very easily.
That's fun.
Or quite a small. So again, a very big, cool, impressive model. Will probably stand just
I'm almost tempted to keep these. I know I said I was going to give these to Sam, but I'm almost tempted to keep them for myself now.
Show the Pain Boy. This is essentially a battlefield medic / doctor for your orcs in the loosest
I
possible
think
terms.
medic is a generous term. So I think first off, the model is very fun, right? So this is, I think, the first time classic Pain Boy. You can kind of see already from the model what he kind of does. He kind of mends your orcs if they get shot, reattaches arms and heads and things. If they get shot.
I love that.
A grot orderly. This is the 11th grot in the box.
That
This is
looks
really
fucking
cool.
gnarly.
Grot orderly is one of my favourite
Essentially,
things.
he's a token, really, for the forces.
Bonesaw looking thing.
Yes, so in game terms, what the Pain Boy does, another support model, so again, a model you can put into a boy unit or a knob unit alongside like a war boss or a big boss. He gives the unit Feel No Pain 5-up, incredibly good on your already very tough orcs. The Grot Orderly that's with him is effectively a once-game ability where you can bring back bodyguard units into that unit. So once a game, you can get some of your boys to stand back up again. Even
I
after they're
assume you are stitching
Useful.
limbs back on at that point, or
Yeah.
putting squids into empty.
Or maybe
running
the Grots
squares.
run off to get some spare parts and he's just come back with them, something like that.
So here they are at the front of the force here. Can truly orc for scale.
Yeah,
We've done it
he's
every
about
other
the same
time.
size as the boy, maybe a little bit bigger.
But
than
he's
an
not
orc
there
boy.
for his bulk. He's there for his think you know what.
Yeah, he's also got a kind of a Urti syringe which is actually fairly solid in combat. It's only got 1 attack, but it does have anti-infantry and precision, which is pretty solid. So
Not bad.
every now and again, you will kill something very valuable.
So next up, and we've seen this guy already on warhammercommunity.com, but this is the Weird Boy, a really incredible looking miniature.
It's so cool.
And embodies the war energy that follows the Armageddon.
Yeah, we've already seen this guy. We also saw him in the cinematic trailer. He does exactly what you'd hope a Weird Boy does. The model is great. In game terms, he has the jump, which allows you to pick up one of your orc units and teleport it through the power of the orc gods. He also can blast enemy units with psychic energy, and that becomes more powerful the more orcs are around you as well. So that's kind of how they've always worked. They carry on working that way. The difference now is it's amazingly fun.
Absolutely. And there you see him at the front. I've done it with every other one. So orc to scale, there we go, stood next to a boy. He's got a heroic rock to stand on.
Fairly sizable.
He's a substantial.
Let's see those things at the back, please.
The last of the sort of infantry things in this force is, of course, the leader of the orc throng. And here we have our war boss, a really mighty looking model.
No knobs, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's a big model, this guy. So I think standing a little bit taller than even some of the current orc war bosses we've had in the past. This guy comes with a custom shooter and a custom chopper, and as you would imagine as well, he gives a bunch of buffs to his unit. They get buffs with their hit rolls, and he gets a bunch of extra rules when the war is active. One of the things worth calling out about this model's rules is, at the moment, when you take an orc war boss, a lot of the time people are putting power claws on them. It's all about power claw because you get extra strength and good AP, good damage. The custom chopper takes advantage of one of the new rules in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000, which is cleave. So cleave basically gives you blasts or extra attacks into big units, and it makes it very good at chopping through kind of medium level infantry, things like Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, Necrons, that sort of stuff.
Okay, that's interesting.
Custom chopper, a very appealing choice.
Blast equivalent for melee. I like that a lot.
Weapons that keep it away from.
The chat absolutely loving the orcs.
Especially for orcs. It's very flavourful.
For scale, you get a set. This is almost twice as high.
Oh my god, he's massive.
One of his knobs. He really is an absolute bruiser. Yeah, fantastic. Really great leader for your
Again, a nice big banner on there as well that takes advantage of the transfer.
well, exactly. All those decals are going to... Oh, I nearly stuck me with the ball.
There we are.
Right, so we've covered all of the...
Getting a little bit dark, so I'll put some light on the face.
Let's look at the first of the vehicles with this horse, which is the war truck.
Yes, yes, yes.
Is a returning unit for orcs. They've had war tracks in the past. They had war tracks back as far as 2nd edition, I think. This is a fast-moving orc fire support vehicle. It's a bit off-gun since its last incarnation. It comes with a custom shooter, but also a rocket launcher, and that's really where the damage comes
That's
from.
fun.
Rocket launcher, quite a tasty number of attacks. D3 plus 3 attacks. Strength 10 and 3 damage is pretty solid. That makes it very good at popping things like elite infantry, and also you can punch up into even vehicles and things like that. It will kind of accompany things like your speed war, your bikes, that sort of thing, and just adds some pretty respectable fire support to your fast-moving orc element.
Yeah, absolutely. The model itself is obviously fantastic. I'm going to show you very carefully. I was very nervous holding the model. You can see all these little dints inside the footprint that the nub on the back is having. Oh, you can boots.
Okay.
Huh.
Trying to work it, obviously, we've got it. One of the things I wanted to do
That's
was I'm old
cool.
enough and grey enough that I remember when war tracks first emerged and we hunted down an original war track, and I just wanted to put it next to it for posterity's sake, because I remember seeing that original war track come out and thinking it was just the bee's knees and super cool, and it's still absolutely charming. But the new one is such a blow up.
I think that's the right word for it. It's charming. It's almost quaint. The difference, like that's very funny.
Yep.
It's not the centerpiece
It's not,
of the orc
no.
throng, however. I'm going to carefully put it to the back.
Come on.
The biggest thing, the biggest gun is absolutely...
That's so fucking cool.
So this does exactly what you think it does by looking at it.
Absolutely.
It is an orc mech's prized possession. It is an enormous walking cannon piloted by a big mech. You saw it in the cinematic trailer, blasting things out of the sky and blasting through space marine forces. It has a formidable amount of firepower in the game. It's got a blitz cannon and a set of rocket launchers. The blitz cannon kicks out a whole bunch of shots. It's got heavy and sustained ones, so surprisingly accurate for an orc shooting unit. It also gets extra shots when it shoots into smaller enemy units, so anything that's not a monster or a vehicle.
That's so dumb.
The rocket launchers
It's so dumb, and I love it.
some fairly respectable firepower too. And then the whole thing is on a very durable frame because the Big Mac has also brought along a force field, basically.
So on his back, you can see it here in this picture, he has his force field projector protecting. The model is just replete with details that are worth talking about. I love all the cabling that hangs underneath it, the sort of ramshackle nature of the Orc. I'm going to spin it carefully around and show you my favourite rear feature, which is the absolute Orky indifference to health and safety. He's literally flanked either side of him with these enormous Promethean tanks, which are totally exposed to fire. When I spin it back
Big fan of that.
like, he is absolutely catching straight around.
Big fucking fan of that.
The force field, though, that's what the force field is.
Well, I guess so, and it better work, because otherwise he's in trouble. This is firepower on legs, and I absolutely love it. I bought some props in. Somebody in the chat has called me out and said that that's not the original war track, by the way, and you're right. That is a Walker era war
Couldn't
track.
find the original one.
If you imagine that the Warhammer archive is like going into something from like a spy movie and looking through thousands of models on shelves.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I could.
Imagine going into the Warhammer archive.
Here we see some other Orc walkers. So we have a Killer Can, a Death Dread, and they're stood next to the Dapper Rig. Gives you a sense of its place within the sort of Orc walking things pantheon.
Absolutely. You can imagine that the Dapper Rig worked
I wonder
well
if these
for
other two are
the
going to get
marching alongside your boys, but it
an
fits in
update.
very nicely if you have a Dread War, if you've got lots of Death Dreads, lots of Killer Cans. You can imagine if you have an Orc mech who particularly likes building Dreadnoughts, that he would want to accompany them into battle, and the way that he would do that is in the back of one of these Dapper Rigs.
Absolutely. So we have essentially, I think, shown you the Orc.
That's, yeah, I'm
Questions about how the Orcs scale with some of the other things in this set. I'll keep a few of these to the side.
big fan of these.
When we show you the spacing half of things, I can do some size comparisons with other things in the kit. Let's have a look now at my favourite half of the Armageddon box set, the Space Marines.
How am I going to Space Wolf that captain up? That's going to be the interesting bit. New librarian. I don't care for ancients as minis. Ooh. Ooh, that's interesting. No flying bases. That's. I know they've been moving away from them, so like I sort of expected it, but
That was the fastest set change you've ever seen in your life. We have placed in front of us
yeah, that must have been
the Space Marines half
fucking.
Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon. Yeah, no, it's just
That would me. I just.
I'm stoked. I absolutely love Space Marines. I've loved them for such a very long time, and this is a wonderful way to either add to an existing Space Marine army or kickstart a new one if you've always considered it.
It's so much less visually too.
There's a lot here to talk about. Eddie, first of all, overall impressions?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great box of Space Marines. This is effectively Space Marines' greatest hits, right? So you've got your solid battle line unit in successors there. You've got some fast-moving assault things. You've got your kind of Devastator equivalent with the Gravis heavy bolter troops. Obviously, you've got a great vehicle there to give you some fire support, and you've got all the classics.
I don't know why we needed more heavy bolter troops.
Captain, Librarian,
I know.
Captain, and of course the Ancient. So this is a great start to a Space Marine army. It's a beautiful model.
Wonderful. So let's start with the most straightforward of the Space Marine units.
Like, it's just an odd choice for me.
That would be
Nick, I feel like heavy intercessors fill that role perfectly fine.
As you know and love. The key difference really with this box is the difference and the inclusion of some older armor marks and some older bits into the kit as well. But lots
Yeah, heavy intercessors are,
of space
you know,
force specs there,
5 of them.
or if they've got touches you
only
with
one of them can
spells,
take a heavy bolter, whereas these are 3 with all 3 of them
icons
They've got
and
relics,
taking
relics,
heavies.
bits and pieces around. One of my favourites, this guy here actually, perfect timing. He has his purity seal parchment wrapped around his bolt rifle. The,
yeah, underslung grenade there as well.
sort of the combination of the old school with the new school of the Primaris things are integrating more into the Space Marine chapters. And
Yeah.
those classic Space
All of this could have been done with kit bashes, though. Like, none of this is new for most
I love
people
it.
who have armies already, I guess.
These will just find a home alongside their battle brothers. I can't wait to.
Like, this isn't.
One thing to note there on the sergeant, you can see just on his waist there is the Armageddon campaign badge. That is a recurring feature across lots of the models in this set.
And on the decal sheet.
And on
as
the
well,
decal sheet, this basically the Space Marines that take part in the Armageddon campaign are allowed to wear this badge. Other than that badge noting them as part of the course retaking Armageddon, the models in this set are chapter agnostic, so you can take them as any chapter that you like. So, Adam, you've already talked about your Dark Angels. I'm eyeing up some of these to put into my Space Wolf course. Also, an excellent way to start a brand new Space Wolf.
Yeah, so I saw a question pop up in the chat that said, are there shoulder pads attached to the arms? Yes, they are. There's no sculpted detail that delineates any particular chapter, so you can use any detail or freehands that you want. But these are push fit models, so everything you expect from the people that have done them, I think you see build kits before they use the ones, which for my money is perfect because I like getting my models built as quickly as possible and then putting extra bits and pieces on them and then using them. So those are your intercessors.
Yeah, you've got a few options, it's worth saying. So
That's true.
some of the heads are separate on the majority of these.
Yeah, they sort of have their sort of guide codes.
Wrong
It
hand.
goes off and you can
Yeah,
change
you
the
could
poses
quite
and
happily
whatever.
swap the heads
There are
around with
a few
these.
options with the sergeant, I think.
The sergeant, you have an armoured head. Basically, I think every Space Marine that has an unhelmeted head in the set, if you don't want to paint spaces because you want to make them faster,
Or you just care about
It's full right hands, that's
you
annoying.
can use a helmeted head in there as well. It also makes it very easy if you want to add in some flavor.
I do like that.
Got some spare, like Templar bits or Space Wolf bits.
that's fine. Perfect. Right, so that is the intercessors. Next unit up, then we should look at, and these are a contender for the most exciting thing for me. These are the Space Marine Eradicators. I'm moving to the front while we talk about what we can see on the screen.
Yeah, so Space Marine Eradicators. We've seen Eradicators with multi-melters before. This is the kind of opposite end of the spectrum in terms of things you might want to kill.
I was gonna say, I'm sure. I was like, they.
Space Marines with
I'm sure that's
Graviton,
already a squad.
very durable. Each one of these is 3 wounds each and toughness 6, so they
So
take
it's
some killing.
Gonna be an
Then what they
option,
do for you
multi-melters
is
or
very, very
heavy
good at
bolters.
killing lots of enemy infantry. You know what heavy bolters do, but these guys have an extra,
Even
they have an
nastier,
extra little
absolutely.
trick, which is if you target an enemy unit that's not a monster or a vehicle, they get blast. Now that basically
Ooh.
it's overlapping detonations. They just absolutely flood a region of the battlefield with heavy bolter shots, and it means that they are incredibly good into big units of enemies, like big units of orcs. If you've got 3 of them and you're firing into a mob of 20 orcs, you get an extra 12 shots.
Should we put that 21 shots at that point?
So you get 19, so you get 3 shots each
yeah,
with your
right.
heavy bolters.
Yeah.
They also have heavy, so you could be hitting on 2s if you wanted to, and they've also got sustained hits, so you can imagine the amount of firepower in terms of hits into a big unit of enemy infantry is absolutely horrifying. So you imagine a few units of these and you could just remove an enemy horde army fairly quickly in a few shooting phases.
So here they are lined up at the front. I mean, we've seen Gravis armoured Space Marines before, but they are bigger boys than the.
I do love Gravis.
Wider.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
I think it's a missed opportunity to not have a Gravis lieutenant or a new Gravis captain.
You have unhelmeted head there. There's an option in the box for the sergeant to have a helmet.
That's good.
I really like the
Mark 7.
it's a Mark 7 helmet you get in the box, yeah. I really like the front of the heavy bolters. There was a nice big shield plate on there to add in deep detail.
Yeah.
You can see the heavy metal team already showing off their ability to take checks far better than I'll ever be able to on the front of that one. But if you've got a Space Marine chapter where they kind of tailor these to fit, they'd look really cool in a bunch of different chapters, kind of leaning into a very heraldic design or kind of whatever your Space Marine chapter particularly knows.
This one I've singled out. You might be able to see it if you can do it under. So that Gravis armour has a distinctive sort of helmet shape with extra sort of components around the side. And here you can see it has been adapted so much. I've no idea about those sort of older armour marks and integrate them into different stuff.
I think this unit would look particularly cool in something like
Dark Angel Queen.
Dark Angel Queen. I mean, sure, but I was going to say maybe Imperial Fist. They'd fit in really nicely, right? So if you want a really solid, dependable unit, that can stand on a wall somewhere and just blast hordes of enemies coming towards them. They would look excellent.
And there's lots of use cases for them as well. Like, you know, when you're fighting huge hordes of gaunts or whatever. You know,
I mean, nobody wants blast heavy bolters shooting at them, really. Like, I can't.
No, that sounds like a fun time
So, the next
and a bad time for anyone facing it.
Let's look at the Vanguard veterans. We've seen a Vanguard veteran already this week.
We've seen one Vanguard veteran, but this is the whole squad. We knew they were on the way. We saw them in the cinematic trailer, dropping in, chopping up some orcs and chopping through the Ducker rig. This is the whole unit. They are effectively, they do for intercessors, they do what Sternguard did for intercessors for your assault intercessors.
They're fine.
Hitting,
Like,
fast-moving assault troops.
they look cool,
Every single one of them comes with a
but
mastercrafted
I think the problem is
power
it's nothing we've not seen before,
in
and
addition to that, they
for veterans, they're just so bland.
the mastercrafted power weapons make them very good going into enemy elite infantry, and because they get lethal hits.
I like the bonding studs on the leg.
They get even more lethal when you start adding in things like a jump pack chaplain
Exactly.
or something.
I'll move more later. Here you can see we're moving to the front. A really great dynamic looking squad. I love the
Yeah,
fact that
like they do look.
springing off of
They look cool. I just think they could have been better.
comes with that bounding, leaping motion that we associate with the way that jump puts troops leap into battle. There's some fantastic posing. If you're a Black Templars or a Dark Angel
worth
fan,
saying is
this one clutching the sword in sort of two hands has got that sort of.
the two-handed sword is very
It's
cool.
really good, isn't it?
We're saying about the rocks on them. The rocks are all sort of Armageddon themed. So
Yeah,
Armageddon's got
yeah.
this sort of like very jagged
Mm.
wasteland landscape sort of vibe to it. So all of the rocks that all the characters are standing on kind of fits into that. And there's loads of that depicted in the artwork of the Armageddon set. They're very cool. They look, I think, excellent in Raven Guard. Obviously, going really
Well,
nicely.
yeah, and
I think
anybody
they
who-
Black Templar up very well.
Yeah, that's where I can see him. Anybody who really likes that sort of fast attack component is going to get a real thrill on the road. You can imagine bounding alongside White Scar's vehicles. Next up then, let's look at some of the heroes illustrations doing this. Let's start with the Ancient. I'm a big fan of banners, so this one is near and dear to my heart. Straight away, I'm going to call out the fact that the banner has got loads of sculpted detail on it, and this is an Armageddon campaign banner. It's based on chapters that turn up to fight on Armageddon as part of Operation Imperator have been issued or made, I suppose, these banners that show their commitment to the cause. So a lot of this detail is sculpted on the orc skulls inside the flame, the word Armageddon inside that scroll, the Aquila holding that circle. It's all sculpted detail which will make it very easy to get a fantastic sort of paint job on it. The centre of that circle is clear, as is the centre of the star, so you can put your own markings on it. So here you can see Blood Angels and a Fifth Company marking, but you can equally imagine it showing your Black Templars Crusade or whatever the chapter that you're going for.
Yeah, so there's loads of already sculpted detail and the opportunity to add touches on.
Too
I think
clean
this is
for me.
cool. I love the fact
I
that
will
it's
definitely be roughing that banner up a bit.
loads of Space Marine chapters.
Couple bullet holes.
Water, loads of them will have the opportunity to take a banner like this with them. You get a couple of head options in there. There's the unhelmeted head you can see there. There's also a helmeted head, which I believe is a Mark 7 helmet.
Yes, it is. It's quite a nice Mark 7 helmet with a little star.
There you go. So yeah, a very very cool cool banner and fairly easy to paint because it's all sculpted detail as well.
So here you can see him at the front. A fantastic little force, useful in the game obviously, but from my mind,
Yeah, he looks great.
I can get in my ball.
In game terms, he increases the objective control of the unit that he joins, and he also personally gets +4 up on pain when he's on an objective. So if you,
Heroic last
yeah,
stand.
I mean all the best Space Marine artwork.
That's cool.
There are standing on an objective or a pile of dead enemies or Space Marines, right? So absolutely just conjures that when you put him on the battlefield. And if you've got a Space Marine company, you can have a banner.
At least one. So from the Ancient, let's go to the Librarian. So the Librarians obviously are the psychic weapon and protection for the Space Marine chapters. This one in Primaris armour, one of the first things I'm going to call out is the way that they've used the surface detail of this model to sort of inlay intricate sort of ribbons into really
Yeah, they did a fucking bang up job with the
Yeah, so we saw
the
this
previous
last time.
Terminator Librarian.
Librarian.
So I'm glad they've continued that on with this.
Primaris model basically has allowed the sculpting team to add in lots of extra kind of esoteric details, and you can see there on his leg the you can just paint it as blue if you want, or you can kind of make it glow. So really lovely opportunities to show off your painting skills if you want to. And this is exactly the sort of model where you want to have the chance to
So
show
I
off.
basically have, I think, one of every librarian, and one of the things that's really interesting is this echoes quite closely another Space Marine librarian that was made into a stick a while back. But this is kind of like his glow up, so I'm imagining it's this guy having crossed the Rubicon.
Oh, but yeah, that's a good idea.
A nice thing about this is that he actually squares up in a really cool way with the Orc Weird Boy. We were talking about this before we came on air.
Oh, big fan of that.
If you look here, the rock formation that he stood on is like blasting forward as if it's sort of being moved by the psychic energy. And then the Orc Weird Boy on the other side, it's like you can almost see the sort of unseen psychic power blasting forward.
Yeah, so there's two sets of the characters in this box that are designed effectively to be a duel. So a lot of people who buy this box will buy it because they want a Space Marine army or Orc army or something like a battlefield. But there are people who just want to paint really
Cool
awesome
models,
models,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And if you want to paint a diorama, this is a really cool
Yeah.
one to
Get, like,
the base is already sort of built in for you. It's a really cool little base.
I don't know if this would be the right size base for that.
The dynamism of the psychic powers is already evident in the way that they're posed.
Somebody in the chat says, is a Blood Angel, why can't we have a red armoured one? The answer to that is that all librarians pretty much
No.
blue armour because the librarians all wear blue armour.
Though I guess
Yeah, there's a couple of Blood Angels librarians. I think Mephiston obviously doesn't play by the rule. You're right to his own rule.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right.
Yeah.
To his rule. But all the rest of the Blood Angels librarians.
Gonna say, fucking-
I think there were Blood Angels librarians have always been blue. That has been true. I think he would white star up particularly nicely. I think he'd make an excellent white star librarian.
Yeah, no doubt. What's next? So the chaplain, the star of the cinematic trailer, without a doubt, absolutely lays waste.
yeah, this guy looks fucking class.
Incredible Space Marine chaplain with jump pack. You were telling me before that you really feel like he keys into a Blood Angels theme.
Yeah, so all the models in this box
Easily.
Space Marines you can paint as any chapter, but I think there is something very Blood Angels about a chaplain with a jump pack. That is one of the iconic units of the Blood Angels. Lots of your Blood Angel units have jump packs. That's the way they like to fight. So having jump pack chaplains, leading those, giving them extra bonuses is very useful. He looks very Blood Angel to me. Your home in the Dark Angel or Ultramarine army as well. In game terms, it's a very powerful piece. Obviously, chaplain's very good in close combat. The jump pack makes him get to close combat faster, so it's only a good thing. He gives you the +1 to wounds, so that's excellent on something like the Vanguard Veterans, also excellent on Assault Interceptors, something like that. This guy also does mortal wounds to enemy units in combat, so as well as making the unit better and having a very scary combat stat line, he also does a bunch of extra mortal wounds. So it's a very scary thing to come barreling towards you alongside Final 10 Space Marines to jump at.
Any Space Marine chapter is going to be glad to have him. There was a question in the chat saying, does the librarian come with a helmeted option?
It does.
Yes,
It does.
absolutely.
It's a very cool helmet.
I always worry it would interfere with my psychic powers.
It has a psychic hood
inlaid,
built
yeah.
into the helmet. I don't know if I'm pictures that unfortunately, but there is
I could rummage and try and find it on the
I mean,
frame.
yeah.
There we go.
I'm not sure if the camera's going to be able to capture it despite all this glory, but
There's a tiny little component on this frame.
it has a psychic hood built in.
But there we go. A teeny, teeny little
Huh.
with the full psychic inlays and stuff.
Big fan of that.
Focus the mind-bursting powers on
In game terms, the librarian, we'll talk about him, but he's a great little addition to Space Marine army. He gives you some feel no pain against psychic attacks, and he also gives you an invulnerable save for the unit he joins. So he makes your interceptors very good.
Could you move it into here as I move the models around in this Herald damaging them?
They will hunt you down if you have to know them.
It's done with love. Right, so the last of the character models in this selection is, of course, the Space Marine Captain. What a model. This is obviously the leader for the Force. Here he is with Relic Sword and Relic Shield, and just replete with all of the detail that you'd expect
Again.
for a leader of the Starfleet.
Okay. Like, we've
This model is just awesome, right? Like,
this is,
really excellent Space Marine
I
model.
think,
It's not like
fairly.
excellent Space Marine Captain models, but I think this one
Obviously, all things like this are subjective, but
there are so many
I
lovely
feel like most people agree that this is a downgrade from the last time we saw a captain with a shield.
model you might have recognised as the character that you see on the front of the Armageddon box. He's the guy standing loud and proud right in the middle of that fight against the Orcs, and you can see that the colour scheme on this model matches exactly what you see on the front of that box, which is really cool. There's some options in this kit as well. I think we'll talk about the head options in a second. In game terms, this is what a Space Marine captain does, right? So you get to
Yeah, it's a Space Marine captain with Storm Shield. It's
one less command point, and then once again he gets his finest hour where he gets devastating wounds and a bunch of extra attacks. So you can either have him at the heart of something like a Blade Guard unit to make them absolutely awesome in close combat, or you can add some real combat punch to something like an intercessor unit.
Yeah, the chat seems to really like this guy.
He's great. They are right. Correct, chat.
I
That is a great model.
completely
Good
agree with everyone who said it. This dude slaps. I'm with you. I found the frame which is on. The captain actually comes with 3 heads option. I've built it, as you see here, with the hair that I wish I had. But you have a bear head, that's no helmet, not an animal in the woods. You also have this Mark 7 helmet with the Laurels of Victory on it, and then you have another helmet which is a Mark 10 helmet with a crest on the front to back. So particularly good for things like maybe options.
I will almost definitely be using one of my Space Wolf helmets.
Because
I've got a lot of them.
Kind of embody the chapter
them, yeah.
that they're in. You've got one there with the crest. I think would look really good, as you say, as Ultramarine. I think would make an excellent Imperial Fist as well.
Absolutely.
The one with the laurels, I think, looks very Blood Angel-y. That would look great. Or if we wanted to do like a Black Templar or something like that, I think he'd be great.
And frankly, if you buy any Space Marine kits that are chapter specific, you end up with enough spare heads and bits and pieces that, like, again, it just attaches via a plug. I think that plug up and you
Or if you had, because the head comes off, as you say, if you had something like a Space Wolf head or a Dark Angel head with the wings, it's very easy to add that onto that model and immediately be very at home in whatever chapter you wanted.
Yeah, no kidding. So really a fantastic model. That brings us to our last miniature, which is the right word, in the Space Marine side of things, which is, of course, the Space Marines Land Speeder. I'm really excited by this on a personal level. It fills a niche in my hobby life, which I'll explain later. But this is a reimagining of that classic Land Speeder chassis that we saw first years ago. And it comes with some options. So here you can see on the screen, you have the multi-melter, and then you have the Onslaught Gatling cannon. And it's got new weapons on the wings, right, Eddie?
Yeah, so Melter on top Gatling cannon on the front. You've got Storm Fury missiles underneath. They basically add a little bit of extra anti-armor punch. So if you want to use this as a tank hunting rapid strike thing, you absolutely can. The multi-melter combined with the missiles to basically crack missiles.
Get really nice work on the base.
Enemy vehicles. You've also got the option, if instead of the underslung Gatling cannon you wanted to have a heavy flamer, you can swap that out and make it a very scary close assault transport. So if you've got a
Pretty good for Overwatch for your guys as well.
yeah, excellent stuff at Overwatch. So you can zip around, you can flame stuff, you can melt stuff. You can use this to get right in the heart of the enemy army and just cause absolute chaos. It's also got a very cool little special rule, which is called Purgation Run. And basically what that allows you to do is after you shot in your shooting phase, you can move this thing d6 inches. Now, if you play Warhammer 40,000 already, you'll know that is going to be an incredibly useful ability, because you can use things like hop out from behind cover, shoot the enemy, and then hop back safely. Or you can use it to do things like move forward, kill an enemy unit with your Gatling cannon and multi-melter or flamers, and then move on and take their objectives. So
Yeah, love a bit of move, shoot, move.
little ability. This has a lot of firepower for the relatively small chassis. So I think we're going to see a lot of land speeders facing on.
A fun thing to point out here as well while we're talking about it is, I'll show you the frame. So here you can see this rocky outcrop that the model is based on. If you end up with having multiple land speeders in the force and you don't want them all to have an identical rocky outcrop, the kit also contains this piece here, which is essentially the sort of the fin that hangs down beneath the land speeder, so you can build into that and then attach it to the base via like sword.
So you get an extra tactical rock that you can
Well, yes,
deploy
exactly. So I think the expectation is to push everything to push it. We would use the one with the tactical rock for this, but then crazy the frames and end up having two. They don't have to do the same if you don't want them to, which I thought was quite a nice feature. I love this. I'm very excited. I'll talk more about it later. There were some questions about the scale of things, in particular in relation to the orcs. So I'm just going to quickly do the orc knob, which I've kept on the side, and stand them alongside just a Space Marine intercessor, and then put a boy on the other side, because people were wondering how the scale was. Two boys, but the size is pretty much what you'd expect, and the orc knob is enormous.
Yeah, the Orc Boys are about the same size as the Orc Boys are today, but I think more detail, more characterful. The Orc Knobs are now eye level with a Space Marine and about twice as wide, so they are chunky orcs.
The other thing to say, I suppose, is you've mentioned the idea of a dual piece. We'd already talked about the Weird Boy and the Librarian. So here is essentially the face-off that you can make with the Space Marine Captain and the...
Oh, that's fuck. I love that they've done that.
Sort of capturing that scene in the trailer where you have the axe climbing against the relics of
And again, the bases there that you can get the idea that the rocks are sort of part of the same rock formation. They're designed to go. Imagine they have a slightly bigger base. You can put them on, make a really lovely little diorama together.
Yeah, it would actually be a nice little business.
Yeah, I think we will see some probably.
No kidding. Right. So that is all of the models from the Space Marine side. We've done the orcs. So that's all of the things that come inside Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon. We've talked a little bit about the fact that you don't have to paint these in the colours of commodity. And so we've actually got some examples from the Heavy Metal team of other Space Marine that they painted. And these are using the decals that you find inside the kit. And these are also
Nice Crimson Fist stuff.
present on Armageddon. So here
Big fan of that.
Crimson Fist, absolutely stunning paint job, first of all, incredible work. Crimson Fist, of course, synonymous with wars against the orcs, and it just looks wonderful. A White Scar, again, the White Scars have turned up in significant numbers to join Operation Imperator, and so here is emphasis. We've got the grenade launcher option. That's pretty handy in the game as well, I'm not going to lie. I've been enjoying that. And then, obviously, a Space Marine Eradicator of the Salamanders chapter. And one of the things that's done a wonderful job here, just to shout out to the crazy skills of the metal team, is painting that sort of lava effect at the bottom on the flat plate to really make use of those open spaces.
Yeah, I really like the Eradicators, those big sections on the front that hang over to kind of show off whatever it is that makes your Space Marine chapter unique. You could imagine that works equally well with a very heraldic scheme if you had something like Howling Griffins or something. It would look very cool painted up with kind of any thematic thing.
Absolutely.
Picturing kill tallies at the bottom of that shield.
Faster at painting you are than
4
me.
times faster.
Exactly so. And the second is how mediocre our paint skills are compared to the metal team. But we wanted to show how much we've enjoyed getting to grips with some of this. So here are some examples of our own models. Here is my land speeder. And I'm
Big fan of that.
I brought along a little friend for him, and this is why I'm excited. I've been a Dark Angels collector for a very long time. My favourite thing about the Dark Angels is the Raven Wing and their sort of punch for the fallen and that acts as the vanguard of the Dark Angels army. And within the Dark Angels, there's a particular thing that happens to their force organisation. The first company is the Death Wing, the second company is the Raven Wing, and the Raven Wing acts typically in squads of 10 operating as a Raven Wing attack squadron. Now, in days of yore, that was 6 bikes, an attack bike, and a land speeder for 10 men. But with the Primaris era, I got very excited by the Outrider bikes and the ATV, but that's got to 8, and then when the land speeder came along, and I've got one here actually, I can show you.
The Storm Speeder?
There you go, the Storm Speeder. Beautiful model. It's 3, and so it doesn't add up in the weird math that I've got going on in my head. You can see how it scales alongside the land speeder. It's really nice. But this enables me to once again get back to that sort of perfect magic 10 that I seek with my Dark Angels army. So that was the first thing.
That's cool.
I'm very, very excited to have a Primaris era Raven Wing attack squadron. I yield the microphone to Ed.
Yeah, well, I painted them as well. I've done a couple of Space Marines and a couple of Orcs. I did a Long Fang for my Space Wolves.
This is in the colours of the army you can
Yeah, absolutely. It is the Red Morse. So painted him up as a Long Fang and did some hazard strikes there. And
bonus point
right.
for hazard strike.
You've got to put hazard strikes on, otherwise how do you know it's potentially dangerous?
Quite.
You don't know. They also did, I don't know what to do, a bit more heraldic. I did a Stormlord Space Marine. That is one of the chapters.
Very nice.
In Operation Imperator is one of the Space Marines, the White Scar successor, battling currently on the plains of Armageddon. And then I painted a couple of Orc units from my Orc army, the Squigtown Scrappers. First off, I've got the War Boss. I've got a few War Bosses, but I'm looking forward to using the new Cleave mechanic to chop through lots of Space Marines next time I go up against them. And of course, I could paint the Gaffer.
That's cool.
And he's going to lead my
Fuck, that's cool.
7 or 8 dreadnoughts.
Nice colour scheme too, actually.
Yeah, he's going to be the mech that's made the dreadnoughts and kind of march behind them, watching his creations as they blast through Space Marines or whoever else.
So there we go. And I'm absolutely made up because somebody said a nice thing in the chat about my the base on my Outrider bike.
Very nice.
So that's it. I'm stoked. There we are. So I'm just super excited for Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon. It's a genuinely community. I love Space Marines more than almost anything. So it's a good time to be alive. Chat, you've been wonderful joining in the conversation, asking some of the questions. It's been really good to have you here. Now is your last chance to get some questions in there if you've got any. Eddie, while I let the chat fill up, what's your favourite thing in the set? Pick one thing.
Oh, one thing. Well, I mean, I'm obviously very excited about all of the Orcs. I think they're immediately going into my Warhammer 40,000 Orc army once I can get them painted. But I am actually probably most excited about the lore and background of Operation Imperator. I
Yeah, that's.
really like Armageddon. I think it's one of
I
my
love that that's a thing.
Warhammer 40,000 universe. I get very warm, fuzzy, nostalgic feelings thinking back to the original Wars for Armageddon that I got to play years back, and actually seeing the battlefield and the war zone of Armageddon, all the different hiding locations explored in super detail in a good old-fashioned, old-school campaign book is absolutely wonderful. I've been loving it.
Great. If I was picking a thing, it would be very difficult. My heart says, say, the Landstealer, because it fills such a weird little niche in my own hobby brain. But my head says that the Daiquiri really steals the show. It's an just incredible piece of design work. I've been in the Warhammer hobby now for 36 years, and every now and again something comes along that just genuinely leaves me speechless at first blush, and this is one of those things.
I love that it basically looks like a giant mechanized squig as well.
It does.
You can imagine it's a big walking squig. It's got the jaws, it's got the legs, it's got a sort of ponderous gait. You can imagine doing that. It's just a really fun model.
A bunch of questions.
I didn't think of that. I love that. That's funny.
Any news on a release date, Eddie?
So we're not going to tell you the exact release date today. We will say that it will be released in June. So by the end of June, you can have your Armageddon box in your hands and be building up.
Rumor is the pre-orders go up on the 6th,
And the nice thing about the new
and then full release on the 20th.
Crusade was a way in this current edition of Warhammer 40,000 of making your games feel extra narrative. All games of Warhammer 40,000 have got that narrative injected into their very DNA now.
Yep.
And if you want to take it to that extra level, well, you've got the Dominatus deck to sort of link your game together with a full campaign. This could be really exciting for you. Somebody said, where do we get our t-shirts from? Eddie and I got these t-shirts at Adepticon.
Yes, along with 1,000 other people in the room.
Yeah, we
who got
hosted the
t-shirts.
preview
So
there.
if you want cool swag, then come to our events and get cool swag.
That is exactly where I was going with that. Adepticon is one heck of an event, and whilst the sound wasn't perfect,
Been there, done that.
preview,
T-shirt.
yeah, absolutely.
Props for them for acknowledging it.
That was great.
Because again, like, it wasn't their fault.
Well done, you. Right. We are about done, I think it is fair to say. Chat, you've been lovely. It's been so nice having you here joining us. Everybody in the room who's moved models around so carefully and with such speed, thank you for helping make this preview happen, pushing all the buttons and making us look good. If you want more information about Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon, you want pictures, if you've been trying to screen grab and that's just not working for you, warhammercommunity.com has articles which cover all of the models that you see here in probably more detail than Eddie and I have.
Yeah, I'll be switching over to that in a minute once this is done.
There
you go.
If you want to see the Space Marines painted up as salamanders or white scars or criminal fists, they've got some great stuff.
Fantastic. So all that remains is to say thank you, everybody. It's been lovely having you here. We'll see you again very soon.
Okay, so yeah, first off, I'm gonna go full screen. Hello. What? Okay. Yeah, I'm impressed, actually. I don't think my mind has been changed by the Space Marine side of the books. I think it's still very safe. That's the best way I think I'd describe the Space Marines in the Armageddon box. They're all just so safe, which is fine. Like, it's fine that they're safe, but it's like they could have been so much more. While I try and navigate this. Yeah, like, let's have a look. Warhammer community. Yeah, like, let's have a quick look at the stuff. See what's on Warcom. Reject cookies. Let's see. Let's see what we have. Yeah, cool. So what we'll do is we will start from the, there we go, Operation Imperator book. There we go. That's not the one. There we go. I still want my mug. Yeah. That's tab. So let's have a look. Actually, talk a bit more candidly. Thoughts, feelings, things like that. Okay. Warhammer 40,000. The Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon box set includes in-depth Operation Imperator lore book. Find out what's inside. For the first time, all the latest lore developments are contained in a dedicated book separate from the game rules. Operation Imperator, the 114-page guide to the current action beneath Armageddon's ash-choked skies, follows on from Armageddon, the return of Yarrick. We sort of expected that, and sets up the ongoing conflict across the planet as reinforcements thunder down from the heavens. Yeah. First off, I love this. I love reading lore books, whether that's for 40k or Infinity or any other game or setting that I enjoy. I love the background. So the fact that they've got this book that is purely just fluff, that is just here's the lowdown on what's happening on this planet. It's the fact that they've done this this to me is proof that they are trying to make things more narrative focused. Like, they wouldn't have done this in 10th edition or 9th edition, I don't think. So the fact that they're doing this now, this really is trying to show folks like me who prefer the narrative side of things, hey, you matter. Here's this cool thing. Here's, if you want to learn and read, this is something that I think, again, it's a shame they said that this isn't going to be sold separately. I think that's a shame. Because this is cool, and Armageddon's a really important part of 40k's setting, both in terms of the modern setting and back when it was Ullanor, back in the Heresy and Great Crusade era. It's a sort of it's a pillar of 40k setting. So and also really nice cover. Much of the rest of the box will be available separately. Yeah, that's just saying it's not going to be available, which I think is a shame. That's how it says. Armageddon, Operation Imperator, Angels of Death. Okay, so it's just a breakdown of the chapters. There's in chapters for the book, not the chapters of Space Marines. Features details about the main Space Marine chapters on Armageddon, including the Blood Angels, Salamanders, Crimson Fists, Ultramarines, Black Templars, and White Scars. Interesting Space Wolves, aren't there? Because they've been part of other wars for Armageddon, and they were, from what I can tell, fairly important to the resurrection of Yarrick. Decision that I don't agree with, by the way. I think Yarrick should have stayed dead. I think it's a problem with 40k and plot armor. Having him die was a huge thing that just made me go, oh shit, that sort of thing can happen to a named character? Fuck, okay. And I think undoing that, I think that sucks, personally. And the orc clans they're fighting: Goths, Evil Sons, Death Skulls, Bad Moves, Snake Bites, Blood Axes. Yeah. Yeah. Commissar Yarrick, still on the planet. Thraka, and basically all the major characters they've released over the last few years. Yeah. Nice, huge bit of art. Focus on each key war zone on Armageddon and the forces involved. Yeah, like that's like I love that they include the forces. Like, will they go into the individual squads within each force? I don't know. I'd love them to do that because I know a lot of people like that side of like reenactment almost. I know that there are so many folks who play Horus Heresy who will look at the exact squads that a particular company from the Heresy per Legion would have used and try and replicate that. Like, oh, well, that's not me. I'm very much someone who likes to create their own shit. I like playing by my own rules when it comes to writing fluff and things like that. So that's not for me. But it is for a lot of other people. So having that sort of thing in this book would be really cool. Like, if you want to replicate, say, White Scar's Third Company, would be awesome to have a force list of these guys, these guys, these guys, and these guys. That's your force. That's what they would have fielded on this day in this battle. Like, that would be really cool for me. Will they do that? I don't know. I don't have the book yet, but I will be. Like, this, genuinely, if all the other stuff was crap, this might have still pushed it over the edge for me. I think this is really cool. Nice big map of part of Armageddon. Really nice. One example of the maps, yeah. Like, I love this. Like, this is a really cool map. I'm a big map nerd, whether that's real maps or fantasy maps, especially fantasy maps, because I'm that type of nerd. Brought to life with some jaw-dropping miniature photography. Yeah, the Warhammer team do really good photography. Like, look at that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a display in Warhammer World at some point soon. I really want to go back to Warhammer World. This is a proper old school Warhammer. It really feels like it, though. That's the thing. Like, this feels like something that would have been put out by the Specialist Games Studio / Forge World back in the day. Like, this would have been, like, a fancy-ass book back in the day that was only available in, like, Forge World. Like, and that's why I love it. I wish I had the pocket money available to buy some of those old Imperial Armor campaign books. Like, I would have loved to have some of the Imperial Armor books, and now that I have not a lot more money, but I have more money than I did when I was a child, they're all so expensive. If you want to get any of the Imperial Armor books, they're upwards of £100 or more. So bit spenny for me for a fairly small book. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like this, I love this. This is one of my favourite things they announced. Let's come on, go back and look at all the. I think this is just everything else. Yep, core rules. I am surprised. I'm really surprised they're going with a softcover rulebook. Will the core? I wonder if the core rules will be softcover, because I don't think we've ever had a softcover core rulebook. Codexes in the past have been softcover. but I don't think we've ever had a softcover core rules. Like we used to have, and I think still do. I've not picked up the sort of general release starter sets, but I'm fairly sure the core rules that you get in those boxes are softcover as well. So it's interesting that they're doing this, because like a lot of the interesting thing about the core rulebooks is it's also a really good primer on the background and story of 40k, and that's normally a good third of the book. So it's interesting to see that they're doing this. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see how they manage that come like general release. Core rulebook is update for new edition with loads of tweaks, adjustments. Yeah, more fun, engaging ever before. Changes make it easier to create exciting stories and cinematic moments while keeping a balanced and competitive core that all players can enjoy in a standalone book. Yes, okay, just more easily referenced with clear writing. Like, I do like that that this is a standalone book. Don't get me wrong. I'm just surprised that it's softback and it's like it is, because it was kind of a pain in the ass for the previous edition to flip through halfway through the sodding book and then find what you needed. Whereas this, it's just going to be. It looks like somewhere between A4 and A3. Or A5 rather. So that's nice. I just wish there was another sort of more general lore book, I guess. But maybe that's just me being greedy. It's presented in smaller format than like I do like that. Like it makes things lighter. Chapter approved 26-27 mission deck. I hate this bit. I hate that they I get why they do it, because some things are broken and not balanced correctly. But I hate the knowledge that the shit I've spent hard money on is going to be invalidated in 12 fucking months. I think that sucks. Obviously, there's nothing stopping me or anyone from continuing to use them. But the fact of the matter is, much like Legends, if you're not consistently going, hey, here's, I think this sucks. I really don't like this. But yeah, we know what chapter approved is. Mission decks for the new edition that will go for the next year. Chapter approved deck returns with all new missions and objectives. Work with the new force disposition system. Like, I am intrigued to see how this works, don't get me wrong, with the new force disposition thing and the new missions. I just think it sucks that they're basically, there's already forced obsolescence in it, which I think is fucking miserable. Yeah. 25 individual missions, updated scenario missions, deployment cards. Okay, cool. The Dominatus campaign deck. This is the thing that I'm really interested in having a look at. Exciting new deck lets you follow the players link. Your fellow players link your games of Warhammer 40,000 together in a grand campaign for the future of Armageddon or any other war zone. Cool. Taking place over 3 campaign phases, these dynamic cards set out briefings for individual alliances, assign agendas to complete over the course of multiple games, and reward standout units and upgrades that persist throughout the campaign. I am intrigued by this. My only thought is, does this invalidate Crusades? From what I could tell, from what what little they mentioned, it doesn't invalidate Crusades. It's more of a building block on top of them. But I don't know. If it did invalidate Crusades, I wouldn't hate that too much because I find Crusades to be a bit fucking tedious. There's on top of an already fairly bloated game system, there's even more shit to contend with. I think it's a bit, yeah. Like I prefer rules like games anyway. So, like, the less needless busy work I have to do before or after a game is great. So I'm intrigued. Each of the three alliances has 9 unique agendas they can try to score during their games, and doing so earns them with a special card that affects the end of the campaign. They'll also vie for control of critical locations on a planet, each of which it gives the controlling alliance special rules that will affect future games and add thematic rules to the battlefield, such as dangerous rockfalls, crumbling ruins that damage units that shelter. I like that. That's very cool. I think that's very cool. Adding, like, one of my favorite cards from the first mission deck from Leviathan was the minefields, where I think it's if you rolled a 6 on an advance, you basically take a mortal wound just because one of your guys stepped on a mine. Fuck you. I think that was a lot of fun. That's the easiest way to set up a 40,000 campaign. Removing the bookkeeping. Yeah. And you can run an entire campaign in a weekend. I definitely need and want to see more of what this is all about. But so far I'm intrigued. And Armageddon data sheet cards, which is fairly self-explanatory, and a transfer sheet, also fairly self-explanatory. I think we now get to miniatures. Orcs. So, yep. Starting with the orcs. Yeah, I love the new orcs. They're so good. Let's see. Yeah, looking at the orcs. Yeah, the new war boss I think looks class. Like the cleave rule is really cool idea. Something that works on big squads. If you've got a big squad of Space Marines, or if you're up against some Tyranids or a rival Orc clan, could be interesting. Yeah, very, very, very cool. Excuse me. Nice axe. Also looks unique enough from the war boss that was leaked and then officially announced like a couple months ago. The guy that's got a big claw that's got his little mate with him. Like, it's unique enough, and I think that's great. Because sometimes they'll reveal minis in these launch boxes and then reveal the multi-part kits, and they're fairly similar. So the fact that this is a little bit different is really nice. I'm a big fan of that. The big boss, the sort of lieutenant equivalent. Big fan of the axe. Really nice big arms on the lad. Like, this guy's got his arms covered a little bit more by like straps on his wrist. But this guy's got bare arms. I can see someone doing some awesome freehand. Someone, not me, because I can't paint for shit. But I can see someone doing some awesome freehand on these arms. Some fun sort of orky tribal tattoos. Yeah, really nice pole too. Banner's nice as well. Banner knob, big fan of this lad. Love the patchwork look on the banner. That's going to be nice to paint up. Liking all the bullets and gubbins on the lad. Yeah. Pain Boy. I don't know if this is my favourite mini of the night. At least for the orc side. This is... I think it's very cool. Like this... horrid looking chap. Like, that looks gnarly as hell. The weird boy that we've already seen once when it was announced a couple weeks ago. Big fan of this, especially the knowledge that you can sort of make a mini diorama with them. With this and the librarian and the war boss and the captain, and then we get to the boys. Like, I love how characterful they are. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I mean, boys are boys. Like, they're fairly... The Gretchen look cool. Again, I can sort of see people wanting bigger ears. That's fine. But yeah, they're fun. They're fun and characterful enough. As are the boys. Now we get to the big stuff. The war track looks class. I think this is a solid upgrade from the second edition one and the Gorka Morka one. Yeah. Big fan of that. Lovely stuff. Rockets look like a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, I can see so many people having a blast with this. And the next thing. Yeah, look at this thing. Look at it. It's so fucking cool. Like, I can fully see people running 3 of these in an army because they're so cool, and hopefully they're good as well. Like, they're good tournament wise. Because, like, I'd love to see an army of just 3 of these, a few Death Dreads, a few Killer Cans, maybe a Stomper. Like, this is gonna go so fucking nicely next to Sam, my flatmate's Stomper, that still needs to be assembled, by the way, Sam, if you watch this. Yeah, like, I think this is one of my favourite minis of the show. Like, I think it's, for me, this stole the show, especially after they mentioned that it sort of looks almost Squig inspired by the shape, and I can really see that. I can really see that they've got a mecha Squig. I think that's really, really, really cool. Yeah. Yeah. Let's have a look. Is there anything? I think that's an existing mini. Because one thing that is important to note is that they never just release this stuff. There's always at least a couple extra units. So I'm wondering what else they have for the Codex release. Because we normally get at least 1 or 2. We'll get the multi-part kits for the stuff that comes in the box. And then we'll get 1 or 2, sometimes more, extra things. So I'm now wondering what they're going to do for that. I think we'll get new knobs. Maybe new mega knobs. Maybe, I don't know. Would they redo a stomper? I don't know. I think I'll put a pin in that. That'll be a video for another day. Come on. And then we get to the perfectly okay, perfectly fine Space Marines. Captain with a shield. It's fine, isn't it? It's fine. Like, it just... I don't hate it. I just think it's, like, it's fine. Like, it's... We already have a captain with a shield, and that captain looks so much more interesting. I think the only thing that this guy has on the other captain is the other captain is in a more standing, neutral pose, whereas this guy actually looks like he's mid-fight. So that's fine. But, like, it's just, I don't... Yeah, it's just... it could have been better, I think. Yeah. I do appreciate the head options. That's always nice. The librarian is cool. Yeah. It's fine. Again, it's fairly fine. I do like the psychic hood on the helmet. That's nice. Chaplain with jump pack. Excuse me. We've already seen this guy as well. I think the chaplain is my favourite thing from the Space Marine half. I just think it's a nice dynamic mini. The Vanguard squad, I do like this guy. This is a really cool guy here. Two-handing this almost greatsword. Ancient intercessor squads, which are just, they're fine. Again, they're just aggressively okay. And, like, don't get me wrong, it's sometimes you don't need new stuff. If, like, don't try and reinvent the wheel and all that. But, like, yeah, it's nothing that we haven't seen before, and trying to make out that having older marks of armor is a cool new thing. Yeah, kind of. But it's nothing that people who kit bash haven't been able to do for years. And the Eradicators with heavy bolters. Now, that's an interesting thing. Interesting, because obviously they mentioned that we already had Eradicators with multi-bolters. Is this going to be a squad options thing, or is it going to be two separate data sheets? The way they talked about it makes me think this is going to be two separate data sheets. We're going to have Eradicators with heavy bolters and Eradicators with multi-bolters, which I would have preferred they make it one data sheet. Like, have it so that you can't mix and match guns, by all means. But I think it's another thing that's just going to bloat the codex. We already have so much crap in the codex. That's just... Yeah, and the land speeder, which is cool. It's cool. I just... Yeah, I think the problem is, for my Space Marine army, I have a very specific idea in mind that's more heavy and elite focused than all this fast attack and jumpy stuff. Like, I'll still probably run it. I'll still try it out, but just, yeah, not so much for me. Yeah, so that's that. I think we've got one more article to look at. And, oh, this is just a general overview. Yeah. So, yeah. We have 4 characters, 10 intercessors, 3 eradicators, 5. So that's 4, 7, 17, 23, 22, 23. Yes, 23 minis on the Space Marine side. I could have just gone to this page. Interesting that you're doubling up on articles, GW, and not showing the Orc stuff at the same time. What? I could have just gone to this page. Basically. That's... How do I... Oh, there's tiny ass buttons. I miss the days when you could just swipe. I'm used to... I think the problem is I'm used to using this website on my phone. So 4, 5, 25, 30. I do like the fact that they're staying on 25s, the Gretchen, because of the old Gretchen are on 25mm basis as well. So it technically means you can double up a squad of Gretchen and they not look out of place and weird, which is nice. So I've lost my count now. 25, so 5 characters. 25, 35, 36, 37 to 23. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to call it there, I think. I'm really excited for this box. I'm definitely going to be pre-ordering this. Yeah, big fan of this. Can't wait to see what they do. My only thought, actually, is I'm surprised they haven't put the new sort of terrain area sheets in the box as like cardboard. Because we saw the objective markers in there, but not the replacement for the big circles. I'm surprised they haven't put that in the box, actually. So that's interesting. Will they sell those separately? And to be fair, they didn't. They didn't sell the objective area tokens for a good year or so after the launch of 10th edition anyway. So are they even going to do that at all? I'm intrigued. That's an interesting one. Yeah. So that's that. Thank you for joining me for this stream. I've had a great time chatting. I'll probably edit this down into a sort of, more manageable video. Cut out stuff that I don't care for. Probably cut out the first 5 minutes, to be honest. Yeah. Like I say, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. See you in the next one.